Welcome back to Horse Racing Today for Hollywood Hay and Rich today at Turfway for opening day. Sorry about the delay getting started. Had a few problems I had to fix this morning that otherwise knocked me off course. You know how that can be, kind of like get stuck in technology traffic, but that happens from time to time, Mr. Terry. Today, a lot of different races, a lot of horses, thick fields, pretty much wide open. Anything can go racing over at Turfway Park. I included because there weren't any scratches when I got rolling. I don't know if they've started since, but I've included the AEs in mind, also eligibles. Terry may not have, but we'll put additional picks over at horseracingtoday.net when the show is over. So if there are any replacements, you can find them over there along with our comments. I've tried to make my bets in races where I've put the pick fours, I put the alternatives right up on the screen. Of course, when the show is over, you can come back to the description on YouTube. You'll see the timestamps for every race. Just click on the more in the description column. It'll take you to that. When you're at Horse Racing Today, please head on over to the HRT Gear Part. Get yourself some stuff for Christmas. 5 days left, 25% off, free shipping. It's a great way to support the show. Look your best around all your horse racing friends. Finally, a little later on tonight, same time that you have some racing going on at Turfway, we'll also have some free picks over at Evangeline Downs. Click right there, a guaranteed tip sheet, 870 yards to get it open with Pythagoras. There you go. That's a fun one to say. The Greek horse for a claiming $5,000 race for 8,700 yards. All right, Terry, well, no racing to go through in terms of live today. I think the first race is about 6 o'clock Eastern, so about 3 o'clock your time, Terry. Long time between here and there.
Yep.
So, well, not a long time between here and our pick, so let's get going.
All right. Well, this first race is 6.5 furlongs. It's on the all-weather track. It's for a maiden claiming race, a $30,000 claiming price, a purse $29,900. It's for maidens, 3-year-olds, and upward.
Yeah, and they haven't run any races yet. So all of the profile of a winner data is based upon the last meet at Turfway Park. So 6.5 furlongs then, favored tactical speed. 35% of the horses went wire to wire. There is a rail bonus. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7 get a discount. 8 and out are fair. We do 1,000 simulations here, Terry, starting in race number 1. Every one of those simulations, Terry, we look to see which horse has the best chance to get the lead. That's in this column here. We single out the horse's best race, look at today's projected pace to see how closely they match or if the horse is in its comfort zone. Q30 scores, any horse that has equine points of 30% of available in the race or more, or horses you can really focus on, according to James Quinn in the book, The Third Complete Handicapper. Par plus, in our 1,000 simulations, how many times a horse ran a speed figure equal to or above the Brisnet par speed figure here, 81. And then finally, we want odds to be lower, our simulation odds to be lower than the post-time odds. I mean, that's the preference. Terry, what do you see here in the opener?
Well, all of them but the 8 and 12 have some kind of speed, but the 3 and 11 have the most speed. They could go head-to-head to that quarter pole. And that 4 has an overlay from 6.5 to 1 to 20 to 1. The 5 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 9 to 2. All but the 1, 3, 7, 9, and 10 have par plus numbers, and all but the 8, 9, and 11 or 12 have C zones, and the 11 has a 33% Q30.
Mm-hmm. So the picture here is pretty open race. Maybe a little bit of hint here on the 11, which neither one of us have, Aladente or Aladante, I guess. But again, wide open racing, always the case at Turfway Park. E-horses, so we like to do trip handicapping where the horses want to be on the track when they run their best races. Some people call it pace handicapping, trip. 3 and 4, they want to be on the front. They're pilots. There are no pilot, co-pilot types. The P here wants to co-pilot. PCs are versatile. They can be anywhere on the track. Really none of those in this race. Closers, quartet of them here. This 5 right here, they've not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line, so they're in the no contest column. And then the 8 and 12 are going to go for the first time today. You see a shape like this where everybody's kind of middle back. You want to be middle forward, I suspect, to have the best chance to win. Of the horses with some experience, there's 4 of them, the 3, the 1, the 2, and the 13, that look like they have the best chance to be forward. At the end of the race, you got the 6. Well, you have a lot of horses in here with similar late speed, although, yeah, probably these 4 or 5 right here have the most late speed. Put together the early speed and late speed, 3, 14, 10, 13. Those are your top 4. Generally produce the winner out of there a little bit more than 70% of the time. And the 3 has a 5-point advantage over the rest. Every 5 points is about 1 length. Terry, get us started on opening day in Turfway.
Well, I like that 3 Live Happy. He drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 20% of the starts when dropping a horse down 2+ classes. I like the 7 horse Westeros. He has a high percentage winning trainer and a good workout on November 13th at 4 furlongs. Golden Town, the 5, is my third choice. The shorter distance offers hope for improvement, and he has a good 4 furlong workout on the 27th of November. 1 Fly J's Fantastic is my long shot. Drops in class today. He has a trainer, wins 33% of the starts when taking a horse from a maiden race to a maiden claiming race. I have 2 alternates, 13 Time to Make a Mischief and 14 Harbor Bridge in case there's some scratches. So no additional bets for me here.
Yeah, I put the also eligibles in my picks, but I have also alternative picks that'll be in the recap of the show over at horseracingtoday.net. If the 13 Time to Make Mischief does scratch in, the last race was 11 speed figure points better than anybody else after more than a year off. The second race after more than a year off could be a boom or a bust race, and it's also the first race on all weather. Live Happy, the 3 horse, is my second choice. That horse ran some of his best races in first up starts like today. It was our top total pace horse, 5 points clear. Another also eligible is Harbor Bridge, the 14. Only horse in the race with some all-weather experience. If it can run back to its Presque Isle Down races just a couple of races ago on August the 26th, that one probably wins. And then Golden Town was a tough call for me over the 10. Snow King, so the 10 would be my first alternative, but its turf history hints at decent all-weather ability. And then my other alternative is the 6, Ciao Tommaso, if that's how you pronounce that, but that's how I'm pronouncing it today, Terry. No additional bets for me either, which is going to bring us then. And we say no additional bets because we have $100 that we can spend or invest, whatever you want to call it, gamble on the card however we like, not including the mandatory pick 4s, thanks to our good friend Don Johnson. So we put those out there as well. Yesterday, I think I actually tripled my money yesterday. So every bet I made worked. So hopefully every bet we make today works too, Terry.
Yeah, I got the first 2 pick 4s, but my best bet of the day ran second.
All right, well, let's see what happens in race number 2. Hopefully we can get those things going as well. So what's cooking in race number 2, Terry?
Okay, it's a mile, and it's on the all-weather track, and it's a claiming $5,000 claiming price, purse $15,500 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won 2 races.
So at a mile on that Kentucky all-weather, no bluegrass there. Stalkers do well, so middle forward works. 1 out of 4 wins on the front. There is a rail bonus for Gone Again. The best place to be is post 2 or 3. And then anything from 4 and out, the farther you get away from the rail, the harder it is to win. So maybe a little inside speed in race 2 with another big field might be the way to the winner's circle.
Well, but the only thing is that most speed is on that outside, that 14 horse. If it gets into this race, it should go to the front, get to that quarter pole first, if it can outbreak the inside horses. The 5 has an overlay from 8.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 7 to 5 or 8 to 5. All but the 4, 10, and 11 have par plus numbers, and all but the 4 have C zones.
Again, all these horses, man, just anything could happen. Strong C zone scores. We're looking for horses with 50% or more of their races, really, of our simulated races, really matching their best performances. In the second race, our trip handicapping, pretty balanced, though still most of the horses want to be middle back. Could give a little bit of edge to the horses that want to be forward. Maybe the 8 and 14 can get great trips. So you're going to sit in middle of the speed and in front of all the closers. If speed is your thing, then Infinity, well, there's a lot of it in here, Terry. You got what? A whole bunch of horses that are within 10 points of each other. So getting a clean break could be very important. got a feeling the end's going to be contentious too. It is indeed contentious as well. So it's a pretty evenly divided field from a pace standpoint. You do have 4 of them that are just a little bit a cut above the rest. The 8, 5, 1, and 12, again, usually about the winner comes out of that top 4 a little more than 7 out of 10 times. Any of those top 4 in your picks?
I like the 8 Tiverton, but's top in the top 4. He finished second versus Tougher on the turf in his last race. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance and a nice bullet workout at 4 furlongs on November 27th. Then the number 3 horse, Mr. Faversham. He's dropped in class today, has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 21% of the starts when dropping a horse down 2+ classes. Number 2, Confucius, is my third choice, drops in class today, as a trainer, wins 26% of the claiming races he has a horse competing in, and a good 5 furlong workout on November 22nd. Gone Again, the 1, is my long shot, finishing the money in his last 3 starts, winning the last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to play the very first pick for Don Johnson, Miami Vice, 1, 2, 3, 8 with the 4, 7, 9 with the 1, 3, 8, 11 with the 2, 6, $48 ticket.
Well, one thing's for sure, we both can't win because I don't have the 2 or the 6 in the back end of mine. So could be in trouble, Mr. Terry. So in the first race, our good friend Christopher D'Souza, he likes Snow King. That's appropriate. I think it's going to be, according to Private Ross, 34 degrees there. So there might actually be some snow down there today. Turfway Park Crypto Codes, race 4. Well, he's got the crypto codes here for the early races. And then our good friend Christopher D'Souza in the race 2 likes the 5, 8, and 1 in the second race. I like the 3 horse Mr. Faversham. That's my top selection today. Mr. Faversham had increased his speed figure the last 3 races before heading to the bench. Got some decent workouts prepping for today, and all the horses here, looks like he has the best all-weather form. Tiverton, the 8 horse, looks like the pre-race favorite with by far the strongest par plus in there. Probably deservedly so with the most back class. It is on turf. Did have a run over in Ireland on Irish all-weather. It didn't really go the best, but this horse has faced much better competition, and this is the lowest level of competition he's faced in his life. Again, the 13 for me is an also eligible Egyptian King. This one will be closing and has some solid enough races at Turfway to consider. And then the 2, Confucius. That's my second choice in there. That one, or fourth choice. This one's coming in from the West Coast. Does have some decent Turfway Park workouts prepping. For me, I have the 2, 3, 8, 13. The 12 is a substitute in case there scratches. A bomb. 3, 9, 1, 7, 11, 13. Oh, and then in the back end, I do have the 2, 13, 14. So we do have a 2 on the back end there, Terry. That's in common. And then the 7 and 6 in that order are my alternatives in case there are some scratches there.
Okay.
All right. Let's go on to race number 3. And if you can excuse me for a moment, I have to go close my window because somebody, I don't know if you can hear that or not, is doing some yard work next to me. So
all right.
Right back. So take us through race 3, Terry.
Okay, well, race 3 is a 6 furlong race. It's on the all-weather track. It's the first allowance race at $5,000 and the purse at $22,700. And it's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have started for a claiming price of $5,000 or less in 2023 and 2024.
I don't know if you could hear that or not, but I certainly could hear it. It was kind of annoying me too. It was like right by the window. And for 6 furlongs, I think they have a couple of races at this distance today. The tactical speed does well. 1 out of 4 does well enough to get to the front and stay there. Post positions, really no deal makers or deal breakers. So it looks like tactical speed in race 3 is the most important thing. Terry, where do we find the giddy up and go here?
Well, it's really anyone's guess. As you can see, all of them have speed, and there's several of them that are pretty close to speed. So it just depends on who gets the best break and the best decisions by the jockey. The 4 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 7 to 2. The 9 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 3 to 1. And then all of them have par plus numbers, and they all have C zones except for that number 1 horse.
Yeah, this race looks like you got a potential gringo horse in here. This one should be fully placed, top par plus number, great C zone score and overlay. So a lot of good things about Aniata. And let's see if we can find some great things to say. Well, nobody wants to be on the lead. Really no co-pilot pilot type. So everybody middle back. This whole group here has a lot of versatility. This race probably can go many, many different ways. Looks like the start could be pretty competitive, although that 9-horse does have a little bit of an edge over everybody else, but doesn't need it. A lot of the other speeds to the inside. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the 2, the 1, maybe the 5 head out to the front with the 8 and 9 sitting in nice stalking positions. Let those guys go out and burn. At the end of the race, Beach Kitten. That one will be closing pretty well, but you have 4 of them, the 7, 9, 1, and 4, that are considerably faster at the end of the race than all of the rest. Considering the competitive early pace, that late speed probably where the race is going to be won. Not surprisingly, the 4 with the most late speed grayed out is your top 4, and they kind of ratchet down a little bit. 9, 7, 1, 4. Maybe we ought to just put them in that order, Terry.
Yeah, that sounds good. Although I do like the 9 first. She has won 5 races out of the last 7 starts. Very competitive. Drops in class today. Has the best dirt speed at today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Wins 23% of the races when shipping a horse in to run. Save the Bees, the 4 is my second choice. Has finished in the money in 5 races out of the last 6 starts. Won 3 of those, and has a high percentage winning jockey. Beach Kitten, the 7 is my third choice. Has finished in the money in 9 out of the last 10 races, winning 3 races, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then Tizzy Jojo, the 1 is my long shot, finished 3rd on the dirt in her last race, has a high speed figure at today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. 2 alternates, the number 3 horse and the number 2 horse.
I have the 9 as the top pick here too. Top total pace by 5, we saw that. Top last race B figure by 5, we saw that. Consistent performer at Turfway, a lot of success there. 5 races out, 2 wins, a second and a third. So I'll take that. Proto Magic, the 3 horse, next up for me. This one is making its third race after a layoff, classic handicapping angle, with Turfway record of 13 races, 5 wins, 5 seconds. I think that's a horse for the course. It just has 3 wins in 29 races anywhere else or on any other surface. Save the Bees, the 4 horse. That one is fairly consistent performer. Should be forward today at a distance that it finds comfortable, winning 2 out of 3. And then Beach Kitten, the 7 horse. Better fractions last out. Also a horse that should improve in the second start after a layoff. And loves 6 furlongs, 14 times out, with 4 wins, 4 seconds, and 3/3. So 11 out of 14 collecting a top 3 check. I'm going to do 20 to win, 10 to place. I don't know what pulse is. I got to use English, Richard. 10 to win, 10 to place on the 9. I'm going to do a $3 exact key box 9 over to 3, 4, and 7 as my spot plays with $100 to work with, as always. I'd like to take first race, listen to race 13 is my best bet of the day in race number 1. All right, good thing. I meant to say 13, not 1 or 3 for the first race. Sounds good. So the 13 in the first race is the best bet of the day for our good friend, Private Ross. If, like Christopher D'Souza or Private Ross, you have some ideas that you think are going to work at Turfway Park or anywhere else for that matter, please put them in the comment section. If you have any questions, suggestions, anything really that you want us to answer, please let us know in the comment section as well. And we're just about 25, 30 people away from 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. Terry, to help us make sure we get that number, what's the easiest thing you can do?
Well, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doesn't hurt anything, doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Go ahead and hit that little bell, and it'll tell you when our programs are coming up. And then go down and copy that link and share it with everyone you know so that they can come check us out. Go to our social sites such as TikTok, Instagram, X, Threads, and Facebook at the Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like. That helps us out quite a bit. And keep those comments coming, as Rich said.
Yes, please. We do appreciate it. All right, let's keep the picks coming, Terry. Let's head off to race number 4.
Okay, so in race 4, we're going to go stretch out to 1 mile and 1/16. And we're going to be all-weather track again, claiming $8,000 to $24,700 purse for 3-year-olds and upward.
And at a mile and a 16th, that long run on that all-weather, you better be fit. Stalkers do good. Still, surprisingly, 27% go gate to wire. There is a rail discount. 2 and 3 are the best place to be. 4 through 7 fair. 8 and out get discounted again. So surprisingly, speed does matter in race number 4. I'm kind of surprised. Deep field again, Terry. Probably plenty of them that can get to the front.
Yeah, the 11 shows the most speed, although there's a couple of them, others that are close. But that 11 get a good break. It'll get that quarter poles first. That 4 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 8 to 1, and the 7 has an overlay from 7.5 to 1 to 15 to 1. 13's overlay is 4 to 1 to 5 to 1. All but the 6, 10, and 14 have par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones.
Yeah, a lot of them over 50%. Once again, pretty spread out numbers here. A whole lot with a high probability of running a speed number equal to or better than 81, which is the par speed figure for the distance. Yet another race that's pretty much anything can happen. And again, most of the horses want to be middle forward. Still plenty of versatility. If the 13 does get in, it is a Sesame Street horse. It is the lone EP, so it could get the best trip. Anytime you see a lone EP, a lone PC, those horses merit a lot of consideration because they can get excellent trips. The early speed in this deep field, Chantry Flats, a little bit quicker than Mine Own Star. Here we do see a gap down about a length to some of the other horses, many of which are to the inside. So I think 2 is probably the one that's going to get to the lead with the 11 in a good stalking position. It's where the 11 wants to be anyway. It's not lead dependent where the 2 is, perhaps. As they come down the stretch for home, Major Sparks has a little bit more late speed than everybody else. But again, all the way down to here, only a 2-length difference. So if you get stuck wide, you get bumped, you get blocked, could be the difference between using those late legs to get to the finish line or getting a delayed start. 4, again, that are a little bit better than the rest. Again, about 7 out of 10 winners in that grouping right there. Terry, share with us your grouping.
Okay, well, I like number 1, Reapply, has won 2 races out of the last 3 starts, has a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like number 11, Chanady Flats, has finished second in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 18% of the claiming races he has a horse running in, and he has the best all-weather speed among today's starters. And then I like the 8 as my third choice, finished second in his last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 57% of the races when taking a horse up 2+ classes. Number 3 is my long shot Ghost Bike. He ran second versus Simmer on the dirt in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. No additional bets for me here.
I'm going to start with, again, another horse that has to scratch into the race, the 13. That is Private Ross. Not the 1 and 3, but it seems like my cryptic code today is the 13. Some are blessed. Indeed, that is true. It did run the top last race speed figure. It was 5 points better than the next closest horse. Again, Andrew Beyer in his books says that anytime they run 3 clear of the next closest, definitely warrants some of your attention. Has some decent works getting ready for the first race since late September. And as we pointed out, it's the lone EP horse in the race. Chantry Flats, that 11 horse. That one has a horse for the course label for sure. 7 races at Turfway Park, won 4 of them with the second. Just has 4 wins in 25 races anywhere else and on anything else. So clearly a horse for the Turfway synthetic course. Reapply, the 1 horse down there on that rail, never off the board in 4 at Turfway Park. Also very strong on all weather and likes the distance as well. Then finally, the 7 horse, you can't hide him from me, Terry. I'm going to take a flyer. This one's run on the all-weather course 36 times, won 12 of them. So every 1 out of 3 comes home to the winner's circle. It's been off for 21 months, so probably going to be overlooked a little bit. But on October 31st, I think that's Halloween, right? Does have a workout of 4 furlongs in 47 and 1 seconds at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. That hints to me that the old man might be ready to return to work, Mr. Terry.
Sounds good.
Yeah, well, I mean, old men need work too, right?
That's right.
Yes, you and I both can first-handedly attest to that. The fifth race, Terry, what's that one all about?
All right. So in this fifth race, we're going to go to a mile on the all-weather track again, maiden $80,000 purse, and it's for maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds.
Yeah, a mile again. We talked about that, I think, in the second race. Does favor some horses with tactical speed, or stalkers. So you want to be in the middle, not necessarily on the lead, but still 1 out of 4 win on the front. There's a rail bonus for Cocktail Kisses. 2 and 3, the best. 4 and out. The farther you get from the rail, the harder it is to win. Terry, so of course I put the one the farthest off the rail. Yeah, that's always a good idea. But in any case, a lot of these horses are making, as you'll see here, their first start. Only a few of them have making their second or third starts, Terry. But of what we have to work with, looks like the 2 horses, the one to catch at some point.
Yep. The 2 and the 6, and they could go head to that quarter pole. The 14 has the only overlay I see, which is 2-1 to 5-2. All but the 1 and 12 have par plus numbers, and 1, 12, and 11 have the best C zones.
Yeah, again, as we mentioned, a lot of these horses making their first start. You see them down here. A lot of these horses not even close to the winner when the race is over. Only 3 of them showing that they can finish within 5 lengths so far, the 8, the 2, and the 14. Of those horses with experience, well, you got a couple of them in here that are much quicker than the rest, the 2 and the 6. So the 2 should be up in the front there along with that 6 horse who could fade at the end. Looking at the late speed in here, Golden Sunshine, that one will be coming very hard. That's got a 2-length advantage over everybody else, but it's about 4 lengths off the lead. So he's going to have to do something to make that math work. And then finally, you have the 2 horse, the 6 and the 14. Of the experienced horses, they're all more than 2 lengths better than the rest of the experienced horses. Looking at this picture, Terry, maybe take one of the horses with experience, maybe none, and go with the first-time starters. What did you do?
Well, I took the one with experience. Number 2, Brimbridge Ledge, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and she has a good workout on November 23rd at 4 furlongs. Then I like the 6, Mo Picks Please. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 1, Cocktail Kisses, my third choice, drops in class today, has a trainer who wins 25% of the starts when taking a horse from the dirt to all-weather surface. And then I'm going to go with the first-time starter, the 7, Tag Deer. Has a dam that wins, has 2 winners out of 4 starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I have the 13 and 14 as my alternate picks. No additional bets.
Yeah, for Golden Sunshine, if that one gets in, even though it's on the way outside, it's walking up the speed ladder. Strong closer, does have a par race, as does the 2 horse. Bemridge Ledge, it's another that has that par race in here. Strong workouts between races as well. And when you're looking at those first-time start and those horses that are trying to find their first win, horses that have proven that they can hit par for this level probably should get your first consideration. If none of them can, which is the case for the rest of the horses in here, then you probably are best off with first-time starters. That's what I did for the rest. I went with Talent Show, the 13. The numbers say this Brad Cox trainee is the top firster, and it's probably by a pretty good margin. If not, doesn't get in, then the next up is Tag Deer. Strong, solid workout pattern, prepping for another horse making her debut. The 6 and the 8 get the next call for me. Again, when the show is over on horseracingtoday.net, there is a link in the YouTube description as well as on Twitter, I hope. You can head on over to horseracingtoday.net. If not, just type it in. Right here in the window, you'll see the picks for the Turfway Park. It'll be all of our picks, including the alternates today, because we don't know who's going to scratch. They put out the first wave of information. It was just a horse reported first-time gelding. No scratches to note as of yet. When you're here, click on that link. It'll take you to a recap of the show. Again, in the description on YouTube, we will timestamp every race. Please hit the HRT gear button when you're on Horse Racing Today. Get yourself a sweatshirt. Weather is definitely cold. I read that on the East Coast, they're going to get a lot of snow, Terry, like feet and feet and feet of snow.
Wow.
Winter. Welcome back to winter, folks.
Yeah.
And Evangeline Downs in Louisiana tonight, free picks. I don't think it's going to snow a lot there, but it can still be cold. You'll find that in the description as well. Please use that so they know where you're coming from. All right, Terry, race 6 kicks off the back half of this 9-race card. Also starts the late pick 4. And what are they running for?
6.5 furlongs, again on the all-weather track. It's a claiming race, 16,000, purse 30,900 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
6.5 furlongs is just how they're going to open up the day today, and in the new meet. Tactical speed still a whole lot, 35%. That's a pretty good number for all weather. They win on the front. There is a rail bias for YOLO calls. You only live once. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7 get discounted a little bit, and then 8 and out play fair, Terry. So in this one, where speed could be a factor, who's going to factor the most at the beginning?
Well, look at there. They're all got speed, but that 2 horse, and a lot of them are pretty close. So it's one of those anyone guess races, I think. The 1 has an overlay from 9 to 1 to 10 to 1, and the 7 has an overlay from about 2 to 1 to 7 to 2. All but the 4 and 10 show par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones, and the 3 has the best.
Yeah, that one's a pretty strong number up in there. 67% chance. The only one above 50%. The Doc 7 will get a race today, very much fitting into its best performances. This race, again, tilted heavily towards the backside. Horses that want to be middle or back. It should give an edge tactically to horses that can get out to the front. Oh, Babe should be out there along with Doc 7. There's that 3 horse again. YOLO calls going to be up there as well. A lot of horses very competitive, only 3 lengths difference from worst to first. Again, you get stuck or stumble coming out of the gate, the race could be over for you right away. Abitibibi. That one, along with Quarter Flash, have the most late speed, about a length better than everybody else. So if either of those 2 are close, as they head out of the turn for home, could be exceptionally dangerous. Our top 4, let's just focus on the top 3. 5, 3, and 8, somehow it all adds up to 8, Terry. There's got to be some cryptic code in those 3. They're 5, 6 points better than everybody else. I'd say high probability one of those 3 is your winner. Which one did you point to?
I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go with the 7 Artists. She finished 3rd in her last race as a favorite, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 27% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and she has can improve at the shorter distance. Oh Babe, the 5 is my second choice. Won her last race, has a high percentage winning jockey. Abitibi 8 is my 3rd choice. Drops in class today. Her best all-weather speed is the fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the races when taking a horse down 2+ classes. The 1 Yo-Yo Calls is my long shot. She finished 3rd in her last race. The trainer wins 20% of the races in the 2nd race after claiming oars, and she has a high percentage, has the highest speed figure at today's distance. I have alternates 3 and 6, and then I'm going to play the second and last pick 4. I'm going to use the 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8 with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, with the 2, 3, with the 6, 8, $50 ticket.
I'm going to go with the Oh Babe. Last time that horse ran, its speed figure was 7 points better than everybody else's. Should be up front. Does have some experience at Turfway. 2 wins in 6 races with a 3rd. Very consistent, so you know what you're going to get from this horse. Dennis Green says, it is who we think it is. Abitibi, yeah. Probably better in the 2nd race after a layoff. Weight break today, and this one has run its best races on that all-weather or synthetic surfaces. Doc's 7, the 3 just missed last out. Much better early pace and fractions. Almost always a sign of a horse that's improving, and our only 50% C-plus horse. And then Artist, the 7, that is our simulation favorite. Terry's top choice in there. And it's making its 3rd start after layoff as our top par plus horse. So lots of reasons to like that. 3, 5, 7, 8 over to 3, 9, 14. I guess I'm going crazy too, Mr. Private Ross. You can see the 6 is my first alternate there. 2, 14, 5 first alternate there with 3, 6, 7, and 8 to finish up the late pick 4. 3 races to go today. Tomorrow, Terry, you and I will do Aqueduct. And then Friday will be another Foreign Friday at Hong Kong. You're not going to want to miss any of that. To make sure you don't miss any of that, Terry, there's a few really easy things you can do.
Yeah, we need you to go ahead and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't already, because it really helps us out. Doesn't cost you anything. And go ahead and hit that bell so that you're notified about all these great programs we have coming up. Go down to the bottom and copy that link, share it with everybody you know so they can come and check us out. Go to our social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like, and also keep the comments and the picks coming. We enjoy to see them, and they help us out a lot with the algorithms.
All right. So the lucky race number 7, Terry, tell us the conditions for this one. That's going to start at about 9 p.m. Eastern. So all those people, this is going to be great. A lot of people are going to go to work. They don't get a chance to see us. They can come back and rewatch the show, watch the Turfway Park races, and go, my God, I really should subscribe to these 2 characters. All right. Race 7. Why should they subscribe, or why should they watch, or why are they running for it?
Well, it's a 1.25 miles, and it's an all-weather track. It's a maiden race, purse $80,000 for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
So at $1.25 on that surface, Terry, 13 lucky races so far. They're pretty much won by closers, so you better have some late kick. None of the horses have had the stamina to get to the lead and stay there. There is a major inside to outside bias on this distance, Terry, at least in the 13 races so far. Speed doesn't really matter, but if it did, maybe you should have some.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that 9 has the most speed in here, as you can see, compared to everything else. So it should get to that quarter pole first if it gets a good enough break. The 3 has an overlay from 3-1 to 9-2. And then the 1 and the 14 have the best par plus numbers. And then all of them show C zones.
Yeah, this race, again, all those closers, maybe some of the early pace stuff. I would imagine that C zone would be important here. Horses that'll be comfortable running 1.25 miles. So you got the 1, you got the 6, the 7, and the 12 as your top 50 percenters. Looking at the 7th race, perfectly balanced, a very symmetrical race. So getting good position is going to be key so that you're not boxed in, you're not run wide. Ambition should be out front. We saw that in the simulations, but really not a whole big gap between a lot of these different horses. I expect them to come out at 1.25 miles, pretty modest fractions. I don't think anybody's going to go to the front and burn. At the end of the race, Golden Symphony has a little bit of a late speed advantage, about 3/4 of a length over the rest of the field. Could be at the back of the pack, though. Maybe not as far back as some of these over here, but a mid-pack horse. Late speed, total speed, early speed, Ambition, Omega. Looks like you just take the first, not including the 1. So toss out the 1 and then the next 4. Well, no, 6 is not odd. So anyway, 3, 5, 6, and 9, Terry. They're a little bit better than everybody else. But if you look down here, how tightly this is all packed, another one of those races where it looks like just about anything can go.
That's true. But I like the 2 Oscarot.
Oscargo, maybe?
Oscardo. Anyway, he finished 3rd versus Tougher on the turf in his last race, drops in class today, and has a high percentage winning jockey. I like the 6 Alpha Omega. He took a 4-month break and comes in from Del Mar. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. He has several good workouts in preparation to return to the races, and they added blinkers today. Number 3, Golden Symphony, is my 3rd choice. He finished 2nd in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 1 is my long shot, Rail Court. He has finished in the money in 5 races out of the last 6 starts. The Rail Post is winning at a 24% clip, and he has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 20% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden claim race to a maiden race. And then I have the 4 and the 14 as my 2 alternates. No additional bets for me here.
So I'm going to go with the 3, Golden Symphony, as my top selection in here. It's the only horse with a par race on its resume so far. Last time out, all of the race internals were better, as well as the fractions. Every reason to believe that this horse continues to improve. Number 9, Ambition. Maybe this horse has the most upside in the race, only making its 3rd start. And it's the first time in its career that's making 2 starts in a row. So finally healthy, maybe. 14 is also eligible or alternative entry. I'm not quite sure what the right thing is, but you can go with either in my book. This one I wanted to rank this one higher, but man, that outside post really hurts this one's chances. Alpha Omega, the beginning and the end, comes in from the West Coast, returned to its debut, and she has an excellent chance to take the W here. 4 and 2 would be next on my list. I'm going to do 20 to win, 10 to place on the 3 horse. $3 exact the key box, 3 over the 3, 6, and 14. And if the 14 doesn't make its way into this race, the 4 or the 2, if there's more than one scratch. Again, we'll put some alternative picks over on horseracingtoday.net when the show is done. In race number 8, we start the late daily double, Terry, and it starts with.
Okay, we're going to shorten up to 6.5 furlongs, all-weather track, optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price if you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed. Purse $82,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won $12,750, other than maiden claiming or starter, which have not won 2 races or a claiming price of $25,000.
So for the second time today in race number 8, we're going to see maybe the third time. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly. But that 6.5 furlong race will favor tactical speed with a little bit more than 1 out of 3, taking the lead at the quarter-mile marker and holding it all the way to the finish line. Carbonet, nice little Christmas play on wine, I guess, there. Has a little bit of a rail bonus. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and 7 discounted. 8 and out play fair again. So in the 8th race, Terry, last race we tossed out speed. This time you better not ignore it. Where can it be found?
Well, I'll tell you what, they all got pretty much all of them got speed, and there's a couple 3 that have the higher speed, as you can see there. The 3, 8, and 12 have the most speed. The 12 also has the only. Well, no, that's not right.
Am I on the wrong race? I'm on the wrong race. There we go. This is the race. Yes. I screwed it all up.
All right. Okay.
I clicked forward one somehow. I wanted to throw you off.
My notes weren't jiving, I'll tell you that. Anyway, all of them show some speed except for one of those horses, the 8. Anyone's guess here. The 12 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 15 to 1. It's the only one I see. The 12 has the only par plus number, and all of them have C zones, especially the 9 has a really nice 83%.
Let's take a look at the race shape here for race number 8. I got a couple Sesame Street horses in here with the 2 and 3. They're a little bit different. A lot of flexibility. There's no EPs in here. This race is heavily weighted towards middle front. So should, theoretically, from a race shape standpoint, favor horses that are middle of the pack with some late speed. Polka Dot is the fastest of all of those front runners in there. It's on the inside, too. Maybe the 2 gives it a little competition. So maybe the 2 and the 4 go out. Some of those outside horses really hustle. But again, look at this. From all the way down here to up here, only 13 points difference. That's going to be pretty crazy when they get going. At the end of the race, Forgotten Peace, that one has a very aggressive late pace edge over everybody else. A little bit under 2 lengths. It is also our top total pace horse, 7 points clear. So according to this, in this deep field that looks like it's very competitive, down here only 8 points separating them. It looks like that one has the biggest edge, Terry, and it also makes your biggest bets of the day.
It is my pick of the day here at Turfway Park. It's Forgotten Peace, the 2, finishing the money in the last 6 starts and won 5 of those, running second at her last start as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 27% of the races when being a beaten favorite back to race again. Then 3, Kiki Crazy is my second choice. Has an early foot, so the shorter distance should help, and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Always Wanting, the 7 is my long shot. My third pick is having a good year, finishing in the money, 60% of the races, winning 20% of the starts. And this shorter distance can help, as she has a good 4 furlong workout on November 26th. The 5, Just for Fun, is my long shot. Came in from Del Mar and won her first start at Horseshoe Indianapolis, and has a high percentage winning trainer. My alternates are 4 and 11. I'm going to play $24 to win and $30 to place on number 2, $2 exacta box 2, 3, 5, and 7, a $4 exacta 2 with the 3, 7, and then let's see, and then a $5 exact double 2 with the 6, 8.
You got that corrected. I start with the 2 horse here too. That's my pick. Forgotten Peace drops off. That's next race. Forgotten Peace, top last race speed figure, 4 points better than the next closest. All of its races on all weather, and drops to a level where the last 2 times she won. Number 14, Sweet Gal of Mine, another AE, been facing tougher. Strong workouts for the first race after a very short rest. Polka Polenta, the 4-horse. Plenty of early speed, and by far all weather being its best surface. And then finally the 5-horse, Terry identifying that long shot too. Mike Smith rode this one in its debut. The Hall of Famer doesn't ride poor horses more often than not. It's been off, was off for more than a year after that, and then came back to run at Horseshoe Indianapolis, where it was the easy win. Does have a solid maintenance workout in between the races, but it's interesting to me is they spent $500,000 on this guy, so they're probably just trying to prep it so it can get itself into stakes company. I'd expect Mike Smith rating on the debut, they thought something positive this one. 12 and 10. Next for me, again, they'll be over in our picks in just a few minutes when we post them over on horseracingtoday.net. Last race for today at Turfway before we go over to Aqueduct tomorrow is race number 9, and this one is a short sprint, Terry.
Yep, shorten it up to 5 furlongs on the all-weather, and it's a claiming race, $15,000 claiming price, purse $27,800 for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
This short race, you'd think they would have run a bunch of them on the all-weather, but they only ran 5 of them in the most recent Turfway meet. Early speed, as you can expect, did great. 2 out of the 5 won on the lead. All of your winners came from posts 4, 5, 6, or 7. Only 5 races, so really not a big enough data set to really say any, real trends have emerged. But inside middle horses with speed, probably the best way to go, Terry. And where is the speed?
Well, the 3 is an inside horse with speed, but also the 8 and 12 have speed. And then there's several others in here that show some kind of speed. I think it's a who knows race. Number 1 has an overlay of 10-1 to 30-1. Number 2 has an overlay 7-1 to 8-1. And number 3 has an overlay from 2.5-1 to 8-1. Several of them show par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones.
A lot of them over 50%. Man, that's 3 outside horses really should enjoy today's pace. Our last race shape and pace setup. Oof. Everybody wants to be middle forward. Not surprising. 5 furlongs, so speed should be the way. I would definitely want someone that's going to be close with some late legs or speed of the speed. If they all go too fast, well, that 7's going to be like, thank you very much. I'm coming home. Early speed of the speed. Look at how competitive all this is, Terry. It's going to be just an all-out drag race at the start. So you better have some late energy. Miss Rip has the most late energy. You got a whole bunch of them that are right off that number there, including that 7, the lone closer. The final total pace picture of the day, 13, 6, 14, and 2. Just a half a length better than everybody else in there, perhaps, Terry. Looks like a very competitive race to close it out. And we both somehow land on the 6.
Yeah, I like Trotter. She finished in the money in 4 out of 6 career starts. She won one of those races, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Camp Aquila is the 8, is my second choice, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 29% of the starts when dropping a horse down 2+ classes. And in addition to that, has a high percentage winning jockey. Ain't No Other, the 9's my third choice. She won her last race. And she has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 50% of the starts when taking a horse from the turf to an all-weather surface. And she has a high percentage winning jockey. The 3 is Donate Life, as my long shot, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and a good 5 furlong workout on November 22nd. My 2 alternates are number 2 and number 13. I have no additional funds, so no additional bets for me.
Yeah, no additional funds for me either. And no different pick at top. Trotter drops off the claim. The Chicago-based trainer, Larry Ravelli, he claims those horses. He'll send that one out to the front, I think, unquestionably. When he claims and drops, those horses win 31% of the time. Italian Ivy, the 7 horse, some of her best workouts, prepping for her best race since July. Donate Life, the 3 horse, the only all-weather run it had was a solid second, and definitely been facing tougher than what it's going to see here today as your top par plus horse. And then finally, the 8 horse Camp Aquila, a boom or bust race coming in the second race after more than a year off, and certainly has faced the best competition for this group right there. 2 and 13 for me are next up. If there are any scratches, here are all of our picks today for the Turfway Park. Ordinarily at this time, we get to talk about some of the horses that won, some of them that didn't. That's not the case today. I think the first post today is about 5 o'clock Eastern, something like that. Is that right?
Like that, yeah.
6 o'clock Eastern. So
Oh, okay.
keep an eye out for 5:55. So they want to start at 5:55. I guess they want to get the new meat off. Any cryptic code into 55555. Our good friend, Private Ross. Here are full picks today at Turfway Park. Again, tomorrow, Aqueduct, 4 and Friday at Hong Kong. You don't want to miss those, Terry, and not to miss them, something very easy you can do.
Yeah, you can subscribe to YouTube at our YouTube channel and hit the little bell so that you're notified about what programs are coming up. So you can see those 4 and Fridays. They're really good with Tom and Rich. And also go down and copy that link, share it with everybody you know so they can come and check us out. I know they're going to like what they see. Go to our Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and X at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like. And as Private Ross did, he gave us a thumbs up, I guess, and also, or like, and also keep those comments coming like Private Ross and many others have done. So
yeah, absolutely, for sure. We appreciate it. Hey, we've gotten suggestions in this show and we implement them for sure. I think it looks to me like the bet of the day is just to bet the 1 or the 7 to come in fourth. It'd be a great day.
Yeah.
If you could do such a thing. I don't know. Maybe just do Superfect the keys with those horses in the 4th spot for sure. That might work out for sure. Absolutely. What will work out for sure is when the show's over. If you go over to horseracingtoday.net, the mothership, you will find our picks for the Turfway show right here along with our comments. And when you click on the link, you'll see a race replay right here. On the race replay, if you click on that on the YouTube channel, if you go to the more button, we'll timestamp every race in just a moment so you can come back and watch them individually. While you're on Horse Racing Today, it's important that you press the HRT gear button right here. Click. It'll take you to this page where you can get a Horse Racing Today shirt, a number 1 hat, T-shirt, coffee mug, cooking apron, you name it. It's available over there at horseracingtoday.net. And for the next 5 days, guaranteed delivery by Christmas for the horse racing lover in your family, 25% off, and free standard shipping, man. You cannot beat that, Terry. It's a great way to support the show. Finally, if you want some free picks, and everybody loves free stuff tonight, on Guaranteed Tip Sheet, Evangeline Downs, free picks this evening. It's cold in most of the country. You're going to be home, toasting your feet by the fireplace, watching Terry and I on YouTube, betting Turfway. Might as well toss in a little Evangeline Downs. No cost to you to get those picks. Again, horseracingtoday.net down in the description along with the link to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Use both of those. Any final thoughts from you, Terry, before we get out of here and start preparing for the Big Apple?
Yeah, everybody stay warm. It's pretty cold everywhere in the United States here, and take it easy. Don't do anything that you would do to be unsafe. I've got my tongue tied there. Anyway, and just
crazy shit is what Terry's trying to say.
That's right.
Yes.
And then I'm thanking all our friends that come and give us the comments and the picks. We really enjoy it. Helps us out a lot. So that's about it.
Yes, indeed. What's the only R-rated word we've said in about a year? So I apologize to any little kids watching. But I click it so kids under 18 aren't supposed to watch. So if you're watching and you're under 18, shame on you. All right, Terry. Well, that wraps it up for today. We certainly hope no matter what you're doing for the rest of this hump day that you shared with myself and Hollywood Hay, that it has God's grace, God's blessing, and everything you do till we get together again finds its way to
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us today and have a fantastic hump day.